Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss The Fighter, starring Mark Wahlberg, Christian Bale, Amy Adams, and Melissa Leo, directed by David O. Russell. Now, I'm really excited about this one because this is the movie I wanted to come back to when I was leading up to Amsterdam coming out, and I'll explain why, but let's get into this review. The movie is based on a true story with real life boxing brothers, Mickey Ward, who's portrayed by Mark Wahlberg, and troubled former boxer Dickie Eklund, portrayed by Christian Bale, as we start off with a brief interview and we move on to 1993, where Dickie is getting a comeback with HBO making a documentary about him. And I really do enjoy being around these characters, and this is the movie where director David O. Russell gets people winning Best Supporting Actor and Supporting Actress, whom I'll talk about in a second, but they're very entertaining to be around with for an underdog boxing movie, which I'm a fan of, I'll say, when it comes to the movies. Mickey starts training without Dickie because he's late, and their mother, Alice Ward, played by the Best Supporting Actress winner Melissa Leo, that's the supporting actress, and supporting actor was Christian Bale, as she and Christian Bale are the best thing about the movie, in my opinion, and the cinematography is really good in this movie. Dickie does arrive to train Mickey for an upcoming boxing match in Las Vegas at the gym, and they celebrate and the day this with seven sisters, both with last name Eklund and Ward. And the movie introduces Charlene Fleming, played by Amy Adams, who's a tough bitch, forgive my pun. And at the time, I've known since she became a Disney princess in Enchanted, which is getting a sequel this year, believe it or not. I don't know if I'll review it, but I'll think about it. And Mickey asks her out, and I really do like Amy Adams, as she's a really good in this movie, and she's a really good actress. And the performers are tremendous in this movie. Even Mark Wahlberg, whom I did not like last time in I Heart Huckabees, but he's much better here than in that garbage film I just brought up. And I feel their relationship as characters grow. Even before he goes to Vegas, he wants to say goodbye to his daughter. I found the scene when the family gets to Dickie's place and Dickie jumping out the window and Alice's husband George going after Dickie absolutely fucking hilarious. The family gets to Vegas and hears Mickey's opponent has the flu and has to find another fighter twice Mickey's size named Mikey Mungeon. Forgive me if I said that wrong. And Mickey's reaction when he first sees Mungeon was scared and shocked as Mickey and Mungeon start boxing, and Mickey unfortunately loses big time and gets his ass beat up, while Dickie bumps into someone he knocked out named Sugar Ray Leonard 14 years before the events in the movie. And Mickey comes out embarrassed and bumps into a manager talking with him, while Dickie and Alice are looking suspicious about it, as Alice is Mickey's manager, and Mickey says he has no choice but to stick with the family, which is reasonable unless you want to follow your dreams, as Mickey tells Dickie and Alice he doesn't want to box no more. And I don't like how Mickey handles it, but he's an adult. He's old enough to make his own decisions, so that was a little problematic for me. Charlene comes the next day to Mickey's apartment about why he didn't call her the night he came back home, and his face explains it for damn sure. And they do go out on a first date to a movie, which Mickey does fall asleep on, which surprised the hell out of me because they do end up dating for some magical reason. And luckily, he got a second date out of it after that date. Why he doesn't want to box nor go on that date that night, he came back, and I believe the line Charlene says, which is his family is holding him back, in which they are for damn sure, as this is a very believable dialogue, I'll say. Alice tells the sisters to find Mickey as he's with Charlene, while Alice wants to get Dickie for important business reasons. And I do admire the scene when Dickie starts singing in the song I believe Alice loves in the car, and I feel Mickey and Charlene's relationship very believe was very believable, as this is great acting by everyone. We get the awkward scene of boxing business, by everyone in the family, and Charlene and the sisters hate Charlene for whatever reason, as she talks about the sisters mock as they and as she talks and the sisters mock her, and Alice comes off bitchy, just like the sisters in this scene. Is a little awkward, but there's a reason to keep it in the movie to begin with. Dicky makes a deal with an Asian mafia, I'll say, as they say no, and he does the deal anyways by acting like a police officer. And last time I checked, it was illegal to mock and act like a police officer. Dicky gets arrested while the family were at dinner until they hear the news, and Mickey runs up to Dicky, as well as the cops, who arrest both of them while breaking Mickey's arm, I'll say, which is police brutality, sure. And the music in that scene was fun, despite the scene wasn't very fun to watch. But it's definitely more watchable than I Heart Huckabees for damn sure. Mickey gets let go while Dicky goes to jail, and not only does Alice cry for him, but his young son cries for him as well as, and I can feel it. If I can feel it, the audience really like this movie, like I do, can feel it as well. Charlene briefly breaks up with Mickey, while Mickey is depressed and Dicky is hurting in prison, and I feel bad for these characters. Mickey goes on his feet, but he can't without people imagining Dicky inside him while at a diner, as his hands feels better. And we move on to the night where HBO premieres Dicky's documentary called Crack in America. As the whole family watches it, even Mickey and his daughter Casey and her mother, whom I get the impression makes Casey alienating her, as she really hates him. As the mother makes her alienate her father for reasons the mother doesn't like him at all. And Charlene comes by Mickey's place to support him, and as he feels lonely, I feel the heartbreak by his family and brother, and the music of happiness versus depression coming in the right place at the right time. Mickey goes back to the gym like the officer said to him during the diner scene, and starts training and does what every boxer does for training, including jogging, and he gets a new manager named Sal, let me see if I say this right, Lonano, behind Alice's back, as George was there, and Alice is angry about it as she throws plates at him. And one of the sisters tells Alice to go to Charlene's house while Mickey is there. And I do like the training scenes, but better than at Charlene's house, where they have a conversation and call Charlene a skank, as Charlene beats the living shit out of one of the sisters, which is a brutal scene for fucking sure. Mickey goes on his own with the boxing and wins quite a few fights, and for what little boxing there is in this movie, it works as well as the original Rocky, but a few boxing scenes. And I gotta confess, after I watched this movie for the note-taking reasons, I went immediately, once the credits were done, I immediately went back to watch Rocky, because that's a great movie. And this is a good movie too, but I like Rocky better so far. I was getting that vibe. So here we go. Mickey visits Dicky in prison, and as Dicky acts like Alice, and Mickey tells him let him box his own way, as the dialogue is absolutely stunning. The family watches the fight between Mickey and Sanchez while Alice narrates it to Dicky in prison, and Mickey loses the first 7 rounds, but by not doing a damn thing. And he goes at Sanchez, that's the fighter he's at, in the body section like Dicky told him to do, and he wins the fight by a knockout. And this moment was pretty great. After the win, Mickey gets told by Sal about a title shot, and the promoter of boxing says it to him, as this is a big deal for Mickey. Meanwhile, Dicky gets out of jail and sees Alice and his little boy, and they go to the gym to visit Mickey while training, and he with Alice and the family come in to celebrate Dicky's return with cake, while Mickey tells Dicky to not mess up his title shot. And they had an argument, and Mickey made a decision to not involve Dicky and Mickey, going against that decision, and Keith and Charlene leave the gym while Dicky wants to train him And as they do, Mickey beats up on Dickie, and eventually Dickie fixes everything by giving the cake to his former roommates and getting Charlene and Keith back by talking with them and saying he was Mickey's hero. And this script is absolutely smart, and the movie works tremendously. With Charlene back and Mickey and Dickie training together, and Dickie cleaning up his act as they go to London for the heavyweight championship against Neary and have a tour as well as a press conference, and we move on to the fight with Mickey and Neary as they boo Mickey because he's from America while Neary is from England himself. And the fight begins with Neary being such an asshole when the ref says shake hands, but he doesn't, and this boxing match is brutal to watch at times. Particularly the punching sound effects were the most brutal part of this final boxing match. And Mickey keeps getting to the ropes as he was afraid. And one fan of Neary says to Mickey, "Why don't you go back to America?" And I thought, God damn! I had no idea some people from London could be a bunch of racist motherfuckers. Not all of them, side note, but some of them. While Mickey hears from Dickie and starts fighting back and getting off the ropes and wins the fight, and we go back to their interview, and as credits roll, we see them as older men doing an interview, and as a climax, was brutal for sure, but I like it at the end of the day. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 7.8 out of 10. The acting in this movie is tremendous by everyone, even Christian Bale and Melissa Leo, who won Oscars for their performances, as I felt heartbreak during some scenes. The cinematography is very good, and the music was in the right place at the right time, and I felt the Rocky vibe, which I did watch after my second viewing of taking note reasons for this movie during the few boxing scenes. And we get in this movie, but nothing can beat Rocky as far as the boxing genre goes. The dialogue is absolutely stunning, and there were times when the movie got a little bit hard to watch and uncomfortable at times, but I enjoyed myself watching this movie, and I will at some point in my life watch this movie again. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next time I will be back with Silver Linings Playbook. And until then, alright, let's fight!